am really so very grateful to have local attorney Gary Bruce with us today. Thanks so much for joining us, Gary. I know you're a busy guy. Love your commercials.
Well,
doing a good job. And he's going to be joining us regularly, but today I wanted to let them get to know you a little bit, okay?
All right,
so
very
tell
good.
us a little bit about you. Are you from this area originally as a little kid, or?
No, I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. So it's kind of ironic now all these people from the Louisville area are getting ready to move down here.
Yes, yes.
So anyway, so we'll have some more Kentucky fans, I hope.
Yeah, maybe some cousins or something.
I don't know.
You don't know.
We'll have somebody.
And a little bit about your family?
Well, we've been here since 1989. I was lucky enough to meet a young lady from Lumpkin, Georgia.
Wow.
In Louisville.
Uh-huh.
After law school, and we moved down here after a couple of years in Louisville, and so we've been here since 21 years. 22 almost. So.
And take me inside the head of an attorney. Growing up as a little boy, is that something you decided, I want to be an attorney? Or what triggered and said, you know, I want to study law and help people?
You know, I heard you earlier thanking your mother for all she'd done for you. I think just from an early age, my parents talked to me about it, and I guess
really?
it was just something I grew up wanting to, you know, wanting to aspire to be, or maybe live out my father's dream of it, I don't know. But anyway, it was always there, and when the opportunity struck, I was lucky enough to be able to do it. So.
Wow.
So it's been a great career.
Once you got into the profession, what do you find because you're solving a lot of problems, so I know it has that part of it, but what do you find is the best part that says, I'm going to get up and go to work today and have a good time? Is there something that pushes you?
Well, it's just seeing so many different things, meeting interesting people. It's just always different. It may see, you know, there's probably like a doctor in a lot of ways. We see something similar all the time, but there's always something different about every case and every situation, and it's just fulfilling to, you know, use your training and be able to help people. We enjoy it. I enjoy it.
I know what you mean. Each day on the Dee Armstrong Show, it's always something going on. So I look forward to it every day. So I understand where you're coming from. Now let's take a look at the law. Any major changes in the law that we're going to be talking about over the weeks? Well,
I don't know. You mentioned that the legislature's in session. So we always anticipate that the legislature will change the laws. And in fact, in July, they'll come out with a little book that all the lawyers get. It's about that thick, full of all the new laws and changes. And sometimes they clarify things, and sometimes there's new additions. I think last year, a couple of interesting changes that affect people every day is the texting laws. You know, we've hopefully
in the car, texting in the car. You know, it's a hard habit to break sometimes. The phone rings and it's almost like you tell yourself, oh, do not answer that phone, because your natural inclination is to get that phone.
I think you, being over 18, although not much, I know, but over 18, you can answer your phone in the car in Georgia, but you can't text on it. And what I didn't know until I looked at this a little bit was you can't be stopped at the stoplight and be texting. You can't read your emails while you're getting ready to merge. So it's not just when you're moving. That's right. Okay, because I've had some questions from some friends about that. They think I know everything since I'm on television, but now we can tell them that if you're in the car texting, no texting. Just don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it. It distracts us and it causes problems.
And you mentioned getting some information from the legislature. Are there certain clients that you have that you know that laws are changing? Is that part of being an attorney? You have to call them up and say, hey, look now, beware of this, because
I think there are a lot of lawyers who'd have to do that. Business lawyers, lawyers involved in transactions and banking or regulatory issues, but generally not in my area. But, you know, we do need to know how they impact. Like there's a law that changed last year about seat belts. Of course, we all ought to be wearing our seat belts anyway, and it's amazing, really, to me, how many people do now. I mean, that's almost a problem that's behind us, worrying about whether you had your seat belt on. But they changed the law to clarify one thing, because in pickup trucks, you did not have to wear a seatbelt until last year.
I got a pickup.
Well, but now you have to wear the seatbelt unless you're on farm business. So if you're on farm business, and that was always the holdup before, the rural areas didn't want to be dealing with that issue, you know, having to worry about whether I'm just taking a load somewhere. So that's an exception. There's several exceptions, but anyway, wear your seatbelt.
And you know, I have a very old truck. It's a '74 Ford. I love it. It's we call her Old Yeller. And we didn't think she had seat belts, but we moved the seats, and she has seat belts, so I am legal.
You don't have to use a seat belt if your truck was over the older than 1965 too. So there's another
really?
exception. but
Oh, okay.
There aren't many of those. So
Great
just wear 'em,
information.
so.
Okay, before we go today, what are a couple of things that you would say to potential clients that would, although you want to have clients, that would keep them out of the attorney's office? If we would just do certain things, we wouldn't get in trouble. What are some of the big mistakes you see in your line of legal work?
Well, I think most things that happen that end up seeing me is about inattention. Not keeping proper distance or not paying attention. I mean, those kind of things, hopefully, we can, I mean, that's what I see.
Because you rescue people who have gotten into accidents, and you have to see them through it and help them. Huh?
Right, but I don't think it's an intentional act most of the
No.
time.
Oh,
it's
no.
just an accident. Although accidents have consequences, and our actions lead us to be in a position where we make bad decisions. So, you know, we just have to back up, and with all the new traffic coming, and we see it even now.
Ooh, yes,
I've been here 20 years, and it's just a different world, you know, but we just need to be careful.
Okay.
Just back off.
And you know,
don't
that's
get in a
so
hurry.
easy to say, Gary.
I know.
But every day you go, whoop, I almost messed up. Well, thank you so much for,
Well, thank you.
and I look forward to our being on the air quite regularly this year. I can't say that today, but thank you so much. And we're going to address a lot of the issues that most of us are going to have to face. And the Gary Bruce segment is going to be one of our best.
Well, I look forward to people calling in or bringing in or sending in questions we can address. And you know, we don't know all the answers off the top of my head, but we can get them. So I'm looking forward to doing that and being with you. And anyway, great show. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks so much. And again, the Dee Armstrong Show is going to continue. Coming up after the break, earlier this week, I interviewed a doctor who is going to tell us about how to treat those varicose veins without going to the doctor. And Joe McClure. All that and more on the Dee Armstrong Show coming up.